Hey guys, welcome to this video. In today's video, we are going to create a MERN stack quiz app. This video contains the full code for the both front-end as well as the backend. Here you have to create an account to see your result after the quiz. Let me show you the full demo of this site. Starting, we have navbar on top having logo on left and buttons on right. Once click on it, it takes us to that particular page. So let me log in here. For that, let's create an account. Let me fill the credentials and also let me log in using the same credentials. After login is successful, you will be redirected to home page. Also, now you can access the result page. Now let me give a quiz. We have 3 different levels as 10 different texts. Each level has questions related to it. Once a quiz is completed, you will see your result and overall score. Result contains correct and wrong and score is in percentage. Now on my results page, you can see your result. Let me do another quiz and then the result will be generated. Now again you can see your result on my results page. Also we have multiple filter options that get generated automatically. This project has one more feature as a particular user can see his or her own result only. So this is all. This site is fully responsive. So let's get started. Now open your VS Code. Now first let's search for white React on our Chrome. So click on this first link, scroll down and copy this command here. Now inside your terminal, paste it here. Let's give our project name as frontend. Then framework will be React and variant will be JavaScript. Now click here no and yes. After the successful installation, it will start our server on our Chrome browser. So till then, let's install our Tailwind CSS. So on our Chrome, let's search for our tailwind.com. Now click on this get started button. Now we are gonna install it for using white. So copy this command here and now let's type a O and enter. So our React project is ready here, white plus React project. So let me terminate it and type here cd frontend to go inside that folder. Then inside this, paste the command here. Now after this, let's copy this import statement. Now inside this front-end folder, inside this src, we don't need this app.css. You can remove it. Then inside this white.config.js, paste it here. Then after this, copy this plugin here. So after copying this plugin, now inside this put a comma and paste the plugin here. Then after this, let's copy this import statement and inside this index.css, remove it and paste it here. Then after this, copy this h1 tag here and inside this app.jsx, remove this and type here RAFCE and inside this div, paste it here. Change this class to class name and now inside your terminal, let's run our server through npm run dev. Now type O and enter to open it on our Chrome here. So our Tailwind CSS is installed successfully here. Now after this, let's go back here and now let's create our backend folder as we are gonna create a server.js file inside this for the entry point. We are gonna create our backend first for this project. So let me just type here cd backend, and inside this let's type here npm init to initialize our backend. So here just click enter. The entry point here is server.js, and then enter, and after this type here yes and enter. Now as you can see, a package.json file is created here. Now inside this let's install our multiple dependencies. So type here npm install bcrypt. Bcrypt is used for hashing the password and comparing them. Then body parser acts as a middleware. Then a course that helps in cross origin platform. Then .env file helps in creation of .env file. Express is our web framework. JSON web token helps in creating and verifying the JWT token. Mongoose helps in connection from the MongoDB. Node.js helps in restarting the server each time we make any changes. And validator helps in validating whether it's an email or not. Now let's install this. Now you can see a node module packages is present here, and you can see in dependencies we have this multiple dependencies installed here. Let me remove this test command here, and here let me just change start command to node.mon. Now after this let's define the type of this as module, so it will convert our backend into a ES6 module here. Now after this we have this multiple dependencies installed here. Now inside our server.js let's type here import express from our express package. So this express will be coming from our express package. Then let's import our course from course package. Then after this let's import our .env, so we can access the .env/config. Now after this let's type here const app is equals to express. So we are creating this app as express. Then type here const, let's define our port here. So const port will be, let's keep it 4000. Then after this here we are going to define our middleware. After this we are going to define our database, and then we are going to define our routes here. So in middleware we are going to use the middleware as app.use, and we are going to use our first middleware as course. Then we are going to use this app.use express.json middleware. Then we are going to use this app.use, and here we are going to type here express.url encoded, and inside this the extended here it will be true. So after using these three middlewares, let's go inside this route and type here app.get. As on Chrome on slash we are gonna take request comma response and create an arrow function, and here we are gonna send response.send as API working on our Chrome browser. So now after this we are gonna, our server will listen to our port. So here type here app.listen. So we are gonna share the port here. Then after this let's create an arrow function, and on our terminal we are gonna console that is the server started. So our server started on http localhost /localhost, and let me just define here the port here after giving a colon here. So we are gonna type here port. So now let's type here npm start in our backend to start our server, and it will show you that server started on localhost 4000. Once I click here, it shows on Chrome that API working here. So this is all working fine till now. Now after this let's create our folder structure for our backend. So let me create a config. Inside this config folder we are gonna define our database connection. Then in our controllers folder we are gonna define the functions, the logic we want to create, and in our middleware we are going to define the middleware for the token, and in models we are going to define the schemas, and we are going to use this routes folder for defining our route here. So let's connect our database. So for that let's search on Chrome for mongodb.com. Now let's click on this get started button here. Now let me just sign up with Google here. Now after signing in, it will take some time here. Now here let me create a new project here. If you are a new user, you can start after this. Let me just show you. Click on this new project, and now let me give a project name as quiz app and click on this next, then create project here. So if you are new to this MongoDB, you will get an interface like this now, and if you are older, you can click on create here and click on this free here and click on this create deployment button here. Now after this, you will be asked for password. Never use @ here. So let me just give here quiz app 123 or 12 and create database user and choose a connection method. Inside this, we are gonna use this drivers here. So here in drivers, let me just copy this URL and let me just go, and inside this config file folder, let's create our db.js file. Now inside this, let's type here import. Let's type here mongoose from mongoose package. After importing, just type here export const. We are gonna give the function name as connectdb and is equals to, it will be an async function. Now create an arrow function here and let's type here await keyword. Type here mongoose.connect, and inside this we are gonna paste our URL that we have copied, and let's give the database name as quiz app. Now after this, type here dot then method, and what we are gonna show on our terminal as type here console.log, and inside this log we are gonna show that is db connected here. Now after this, we have connected our database. So let's go back here and here click on this done. Now after this, go to our network access, click on this edit button, and here click on allow access from anywhere, as you can access from any network you are connected here, not from the particular IP address. So it will take some time to show the status as active. So let's wait till then. Now it shows the status is active here. Then on cluster, you can see your cluster here. So for that, let's go to our server.js, and inside this db we are gonna type here db connect, and it correct the import path .js, and here let's make it a function here. Now after this, on your terminal you can see it shows that server started on localhost 4000 and db connected. So our database connection is successfully done. Now in our browse collection, soon you will be able to see the database here. So now let's go in our models folder and let's create our first model, that is the user model.js file. Now let's type here import mongoose from mongoose package. Let's define our const user schema. So we are gonna define our schema for the user. Type here new mongoose.schema, and inside the schema we are gonna define our schema. So let's take our name. So for user, we are gonna take the name. The type of the name will be string, and it will be required as true. So here it will be required true. Then trim here. So for trim, let me just type here trim. It will be true. Now after this name, we are gonna take the email. First let's take the email, not the password, and type of this email here, it will be again string. Then required here, it will be true. It will also have a unique property, so that a particular email is only registered one time. So here, and it must be in lowercase, so it will check the lowercase will be true also, and trim here it will be true. Now after this email, we are gonna take the last thing, that is the password here. So again the password type here, it will be string. it will be required as true because password must be given here. Now after this we must take a timestamp so that we can recognize when the user has created his account. Now after defining this user schema, let's type here export default. So we are going to export our mongoose.models, and the name of the model here, it will be user, or we can define it like mongoose.model, and inside this model we are going to define our user. So it will be looking like this, and the user schema will be passed here. Now we have created our schema, user schema, that will have this name, email and password only. Now after this, in our controllers folder, let's create our user controller.js file. Now inside this, let's type here import. So we are gonna import our mongoose from mongoose package. Then we are gonna import our user from our user model. So we are gonna import user from models/user model.js file. Now after this, let's create our const token expires. So we are going to define in the token expires in our 24 hours. So whatever we create a token, it will expire in 24 hours. Then a const JWT secret key. So here we are going to define this. Let me correct this const here. And for this JWT secret, we are going to give our secret here. That is your JWT secret here. You can type here anything you want. And then let's create our register function first. So let's type here export async function. So the name of the function here, it will be register, and we are gonna give here the request response. Then inside this, create a try catch block, and now inside this try block, let's type here const. We are gonna take name, email, password. These three things will be coming from the request.body. So these three things will be fetching from the request.body. Then if name is not present, or the email is not present, or the password is not present, in any of these things are not present, then it will return an error. That is, it will return a response.status, as the status will be 400.json method, and inside this, the success here, it will become false, and then the message here, it will show that is the all fields are required. So if any of these fields are not present, or it is not being filled by the user, it will show you this response as all fields are required here. Then after this, if, so first let's type here import. So we are going to import our validator from our validator package to validate our email. So now if the validator dot is email, and inside this we are gonna pass the email. If it is not an email, then it will return a response dot status. That is, the status will be 400.json method, and inside this, the success here, it will be false, and then the message here, it will say that is invalid email. So here the it will validate whether it is a email or not. Then after this, type here const exist is equals to, so we are gonna type here a keyword await, and it will be fetching the user using this find one. So we are gonna find the existed user using this email, as if email is unique there. So a particular email can only be registered here. So if the exist is founded, if the user already exists inside the database, then it will return a response.status 409.json method, where the success here, it will be false, and the message here, it will say that is the user already exists. So for registration, it will be an error, as the user will be already existed there. Then type here const new ID. So our new ID will store our new mongoose dot types dot object ID, and inside this ID, then after this, type here const hash password is equals to, so here we are gonna type a await keyword and bcrypt. So let's import our bcrypt here. So let me type here import. So we are gonna import our bcrypt from our bcrypt.js package. Now after this, let's type here bcrypt dot hash. So we are gonna hash the password by adding a sort of 10 value. Then after this, type here const user is equals to new user, and inside this new user it will store the MongoDB ID as the new ID will be stored here. Then after this, the name here it will be stored, then it will store the email, and after this the password here it will store the hash password. So our new user will store this, and the new user will be stored inside the user. Then after this, let's type a await keyword and let's type a user dot save. So we are gonna save the user here, and now let me just type here, let me import a JWT token. So we are gonna import our JWT from JSON Web Token. Now after storing the new user in our MongoDB, then type here if the JWT token is not, if the JWT secret is not found, then it will throw a new error, and the error here it will be that is the JWT secret is not defined or is not found on the server. Now after this, if everything works fine, let me type here const token. So we are gonna generate our token is equals to JWT dot sign method, and inside the sign we are gonna give here the ID, as ID will store the new ID. Then it will mix dot to string function, then it will string itself with the JWT secret, and then we are gonna give the expires in, and it will store the token expires in time, that is the 24 hours. So through this our token is generated here. Now after the token is generated, let's type here return response.status, and the status after the user is safe will be 201.json method, and inside this let's type here success. Here it will become this time true, and the message here it will say that is the account created successfully. So our account will be created. Now after this message we are gonna pass the token, then we are gonna pass the user, as user will store the ID. ID will be user.id, that is the MongoDB ID dot to string, and after this we are gonna give the name that will have the user.name. This will be the output we are gonna get, as the email will be also shown which will have the user.email. So now after this we will receive this response here for the, then after this in case of any error it will just console.error, it will catch the error, and the error here it will say that is the register error, and the error here it will just pass the err will be passed here. Then it will return response.status, and the status here it will be 500.json method, and inside this the success here it will become false, and the message here it will say that is it will be in server error. Now after this we have created our catch block also, and we have created our registration function. So let's create our login function. So let's type here export an async function, and the name of the function will be here login. We are gonna take the request comma response, and now after this let's create our, let me create a try catch block here, and now inside this try block let me type here const. So again we are gonna take the email and password which will be coming from the request.body. Then after this type here if the email or the password is not found. If any of these field is not filled, then it will return response.status as 400.json method, and inside this, the success here, it will say that it is false, and the message here, it will say that is all fields are required. So you must fill the both field, email and password, for the login here, else it will show you this error here. Now after this, let's type here const user is equals to await keyword. So again user dot find one. So again we are gonna find the user using this email, as email is unique. Then if the user is not found, if the user is not found by the email, then again it will return response.status as 401.json method, and inside this, the success here, it will be again become false, and the message here, it will say, let me type a message here, and the message here, it will say that is the invalid email or password. So if the user is not found by the email, as the login is doing here, so the email must be present there. If it is not found, it will show you this error. Then type here const isMatch is equals to await keyword, and type here bcrypt dot compare. So we are gonna compare our password, that will be compare with the user dot password, that is the password present there. Then if isMatch not happened, that is the password doesn't match with the given password and the stored password, then it will return a status 401.json method, success will be false, and the message here, it will say that is the invalid email or password again. Now let me just copy this these two lines here, and after this, let me just paste it here. So the token will be generated here, and it will be storing this. So let me just correct this user.id underscore id, and it will be mixing this user id with the JWT secret for the token, and the token will be passed here inside the response. Then let's copy this catch block also, and let me just paste this over this catch block, and here we must change this login error. It will be a login error, and here the message will be login successful. Now we have created our user controller here. So in middleware, let's create our auth.js file, and inside this, let's type here import. So we are gonna import JWT from our JSON web token package. Then type here import. So we are gonna import our user. So we are gonna import it from our /models/user model.js file. Now after this, type here const. So let me just copy this JWT secret, as it has to be similar to our controller. So after this, type here export default and async function, and the name of the function here, it will be auth middleware, and here we are gonna take the request comma response and next also. And now after this, type here const auth header. So here we are gonna fetch the auth, that is the token, from the request dot headers dot authorization. Now after this, type here if the auth header is not found, or the auth header dot starts with, so our auth header starts with our, let me type here bearer, and let me give a space. So if the auth header is not found, then it will return response.status, and the status here, it will be 401.json method, and inside this, we are gonna show the success here. Success here, it will become false, and the message here, it will say that is the not authorized, or the token is missing. So either you are not authorized by the bearer, or the token is missing here. Now after this, if the token is founded, then type here const token is equals to auth header dot split. So we are gonna split the token with a space, that is the bearer space with 1. Then after this, create a try catch block, and now inside this, first let me just type here, we are gonna verify here the token. So we have grabbed the token above and we are gonna verify it here. So type here const payload is equals to jwt dot verify. So we are gonna use this verify method, and here we are gonna verify the token, and we are gonna verify it with the jwt secret. Then type a const user is equals to await keyword, type a user dot, so we are gonna find by id, and inside this it will be payload dot id. Then after this, type a dot select, so we are gonna select the user excluding the password here. Now we have selected the user here, we have founded the user here. Then after this, type a, if the user is not found, then in that case it will return response.status, and the status here it will be 401.json method, and inside this the success here it will say that it is false, and the message here it will say that is the user not found. So the user is not found by the payload ID, then it will show you this result here. Then if it is founded, then it will be request.user is equals to user. Then after this, we are gonna pass the next here. Now in case of any error, we are gonna cache the error using the console.error, and the error here it will be, let me just type here, that is the JWT verification failed. So the error will say this, and the error will be passed here, that is the error. Then let me just return a response.status, and the status here it will be 401.json method, and inside this the success here it will again become false, and then the message here it will say that is the token invalid or missing or expired. So the token is expired, or it is invalid, or it is missing here. Then in routes folder, we are gonna create our first route, that is the user routes.js file. Now inside this, let's type a import express from our express package. Then after this, let's type here const user router. We are gonna create our user router as express.router here. Now after this, type a user router dot post method, as it will be our creation method, and it will be done on /register route, and we are gonna pass the register function which will be coming from user controller.js file. Now after this, type here user router dot again a post method, and it will be done on /login route, and we are gonna give the function as login here. Now let's export our user router. So type here export default user router. Now, after this, in our server.js file, above this routes here, let me just type here app.use. So here we are gonna use this /API/auth, and here we are gonna pass our user router here, and it will be imported correctly here. So now let me just see, our server started on localhost and DB connected. So on our Thunder client, to get this extension, go to your extensions and search here for Thunder client, and you have to install this extension Thunder client here. Now let me go to our new request, and here let me paste the backend URL, that is the localhost 4000. Let me copy this backend URL and let me paste it here. Then let's change our method to post method. It will be done on /API/auth, /register. So how we are getting this /API/auth? It is coming from our server.js file, that is this /API/auth, and for user router, that is the /register, we are using this route for registration. So inside this body we are gonna give this, so take our name. So in name, let me give a name that is hexa. Then the email here, it will be hexa@gmail.com. Then let me give a password here. So the password here, it will be, let me just type here a password here and click on send here. So now you can see we get this status at 201, and this is our user created. On our database, you can also see, let me refresh this here, and you can see you have this quiz app and user here, it is one user you have registered here. You can see the password is hashed here. Now let me just remove this name here, and or let me just again enter it. So it shows that user already exists as we have this email registered already. So let me log in here. Let me change it to login, send it here. So login successful here, it shows this status, and let me just give a incorrect password. So it shows invalid email or password. Now let me correct this password, and again it's working fine here. So we have created our user model and user routes. So after this, let me close all this, and now in your models, let's create our result model.js file. Now here let's type here import mongoose from mongoose package. Then after this, let's type here const. Let me go, the link is already given in the description box of this GitHub link. You can get directly from the description box there. So let me open this quiz app here, and inside this backend, inside this models folder, inside the result model.js, let's copy this performance and let me just paste it here. So it will have this grades here: excellent, good, average, need, works. Now after this, let me type here const result schema is equals to new schema, that is the mongoose.schema, and inside this we are gonna define our result schema. So we should take user, that it will be the type of this user, it will be coming from mongoose.schema.types.object id. Now reference here, it will be coming from the user, as a particular user can see his or her own result. Then their required here, it will be true. So this user, it is coming from our user model, that is this user. So we are gonna fetch these details from our user model. Then after this, we are gonna take the title here. So the title here, the type of this title here, it will be string, and it will be required as true. So it will be required. So you should give a title before you start the giving the quiz here, and trim here, it will be true. Now after this, let's go to our GitHub again, and let's just copy this whole thing, and let me just paste it here. Now here we have this we are taking this technology that has these multiple technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Node, Mongo, and Java, Python, CPP, and Bootstrap. Then we have this level which will show this intermediate, basic, and advanced level of these questions coming here. Then we will take the total questions as how many number of total questions correct, how much you have correct, how much it is wrong. According to that, we will get the store that will be stored in a percentage, and after that, according to that, we will show the performance using this performance enum. Now after this, for default, it will be neat works. Then we are going to take this timestamp so that it can show when a result is generated here. Now after this, let's create our a small compute score function and performance. According to that, we will show the performance. So here let me type a result schema dot pre. So before saving it, it will be a function, and inside this function let me just type here next. And now let me type here const total is equals to, so the total here, it will be our number type, and inside this we are typing here this dot total questions, or it will be this dot total questions, or it will be 0. So the total will be total questions will be stored inside the total. Then type here const correct is equals to number, and inside this we are gonna store our this dot correct, or it will be 0. So the correct will store our correct here, and then this dot score, so the score will be calculated by the total, and if it is total, then it will be map dot round, and inside this round we are gonna round the correct divided by the total here. So you will get this score in the percentage, and it will be multiplied by 100, or it will be 0. Then if this dot score is greater than or equals to, if the score is greater than or equals to 85%, then this dot performance is equals to excellent. So if the score is greater than or less equals to 85, then the performance is excellent. Else if let me just copy these from here till this, and let me just paste it here. Now after this, let me just again type here else if case and paste it again, and then there will be our else case, that is the last case, and again paste it here. So let me just remove this here, remove this here, and here that will be, let me just change it to 65. If the score is greater than or equals to 65, then it will be good. The performance will show it is good performance. If the score percentage is greater than or equals to 45, then it is again average. If the score is less than 45, then it will be needs work. Now after this, if this dot wrong, so if this dot wrong is equals to undefined, if the value of wrong is undefined, or this dot wrong is equals to null, that is if there is no wrong there, then and in that and total, then in that case it will this dot wrong is equals to math dot max, and the max here it will be 0, and the total here it will be minus from the correct here. So it will be getting here this dot wrong using this. If it is null or undefined, it is 0, as it will be fetch from this total minus correct here. Then type a const result is equals to mongoose dot models. Then let me give a name as result, or it will be, let's type here mongoose dot model, and inside this let me just give the name as result. Let me capital this R here, and after this put a comma and pass the result schema here. Now after passing this, let's export our default result here. So we are gonna export our result here. So by this we have created our result model, and now inside our controllers, let me just create a controller, that is result controller.js file. Now inside this, let me just type here import. So we are gonna import our result from our result model.js file. Now type here export an async function, and the name of the function here, it will be create result. So we are gonna create a result here. We take the request comma response, and now we create a try catch block here, and inside this try block type here if So if the request.user is not found, that is the token is not present, or the request.user.id, that is the user ID is not present, then in that case it will return response.status, and the status here it will be 401.json method, and inside this the success here it will become false here, and the message here it will say that is the not authorized, that is the user is not found, that means the token is not generated and you are not authorized to create the result here. Now after this, let me just go to our GitHub, and here inside this result controller copy this. So here we are gonna fetch these details from our request.body, that is the title, technology, level, total questions, correct and wrong here, which will be coming from the request.body. Then after this, if the technology is not present, that is it is not filled, or the level is not filled or not selected, or the total questions are equals to undefined, that is the total question is not present, then the correct is also undefined, that is we don't know any value here, then in that case it will return response.status, and the status here it will be 400.json method, and inside this here again the success here it will become false as these things are not present, and the message here it will say that is missing fields are required. So here these fields are missing, so it will be required here. Then let's compute our wrong, that is we compute our wrong from here. So let me just copy this lines here and let me just paste it here. So here we are computing the wrong, as the wrong is if not undefined, then number wrong will be saved here, and the max will else it will store this here. Now if the title is not found, then again it will return response.status, and the status here it will be again 400.json method, and here again the success here it will become false here, and the message here it will say that is title is missing, or the missing field, that is the missing title here. Then after this, let's go back and let's copy this payload here. So this is how our data will look like, that is the payload, and here it will, we are gonna take the title, we take the technology, we take the level, we take total questions, we take the correct, and we take the wrong, and we take this user, as a particular user can only see his or her. So let me just add a comment here, that is a particular user can see his or her data, that is the result here, can create for a particular user. Then after this, let's type a const created is equals to an await keyword, and type here result dot create. So we are gonna create it here using this payload. Now the create will store this payload. Then after this it will return response.status 201.json method, and inside this the success here it will be true, and the message here it will say that is result saved. Let me capital it here, that is the result created here. So the result will be created here. Then after this, the result here it will be storing the created here. So our result will show the created here. So this is how our response will look like. Then in case of any error, just make it here ERR, and in case of any error we are gonna catch it. So type here console.error, and here it will be our create result error, and after this here the ERR will be passed here, then that is the error will be passed here. Then return response.status, and the status here it will be 500.json method, and inside this again the success here it will become false, and the message here it says server error. Now after creating our result, let's create a function to fetch the result, that is to list the result. So for that we are gonna create this function listing of the result. So type here export async function, and the name of the function here, it will be our list result, and take request comma response. And now here let me create a try catch block, and inside this try block let's type here if the again the user request.user or the request.user.id, that is the user is not found, in that case we can't list it. So return response dot status 401.json method, and inside this the success here, again here it will become false, and the message here it says that is user not found, or you are not authorized here. Now after this we have created this checking here. Then after this check is done, let's type here const, type here technology is equals to request dot query. So this technology will be coming from the request dot query. Then type here const query is equals to user, and the user will be having the request dot user dot id. Then after this, if the technology and the technology dot to lowercase, let me make it a function here, then is not equals to all. If it is not equals to all, then the query dot technology is equals to technology. So if the technology and itna is not equals to all, then in that case it will be technology will store the technology here. Then type here const item is equals to await result dot find. So we are gonna find it by the query, and we are gonna sort it by created at. So we are gonna sort it by the latest will be shown on the top, as it is done by the -1 here. Dot lean method. So when we create a new result, it will be fetch first there, shown firstly. Then it will return response.json, and this time the success here it will be true, and the result will be passed here. Using this result will store the items here. So now in case of any error, let me just copy this catch block here, and let me just paste it here. Now let me just change this to our list. Let me just type here list result error. Then now we have completed our creation and listing of the result here. Then in our routes folder, let's create our result routes.js file. Now inside this, let's type here import express from express package. So we are gonna import our express from express package. Then let's type here const, and the result router is equals to express dot router. Now after this, let's type a result router dot a post method, as it will be our creation method. It will be done on /route. We need to import our auth middleware for the user verification that we are fetching there. So let me import our auth middleware from our /middleware/auth.js file. Now after this, let me put a comma and pass the create result function here, which will be coming from result controller.js file. Now after this, again here result router dot get method, as it will be done for the fetching here. It will be done on / put a comma, and auth middleware will be passed here for the user verification, and list result will be passed here as for the function. Then export default our result router. Now we have created our routes here. For this auth middleware, we are doing this for this user verification. Same for this also. Now after this, inside our server.js file, let me just type here app.use. So again we are gonna use this /API/results and put a comma and pass here the result router. Now after this, the server is running here and we have completed our server also. So now before going back to front end, let me just correct this here as false inside this result model here and for the user. And also let me just close this. We are gonna test this later using this front end only. So in src, let's create our components folder, and in src also create a pages folder. Here we have this assets given here, which will be given in the description link below. You can get this dummy data and dummy styles. This dummy data stores the questions and this dummy styles stores the CSS property we are gonna use for this project. So let's create our front end here. Now let's open a split terminal here and let me type here cd frontend, then npm run dev and O to open it on our Chrome browser. So let me close this previous, and now after this, let's search for our React router DOM package on our Chrome and click on this second link and copy this command. And now in your terminal, let me just paste it here. Then after this, let me close this, and now after this, let me just type here npm run dev again. Now let me refresh this. So it's working fine. Now after this, in your components, let's create our first component, that is navbar.jsx. Now type here RESTful. Then inside your pages, let's create our home.jsx, and here type here RESTful. So let's import our navbar. So let me import this navbar here. Then after this, in your app.jsx, here first we need to make this app have the browser router. So let me type here browser router, and inside this browser router, let's wrap our app component to have this browser router use here. So let's import our browser router. So we are going to import our browser router from our React router DOM package so that we can use this navigate and link and route stack. Now in your app.jsx, let's create our route stack, and inside this route stack, let's create our route, that is, and the path here, it will be on /route. The element here we are gonna render on / we are gonna render our home component here. Now let me type here on the navbar, let me type here something, that is the nav, and check. So our nav is present on the Chrome, so it's working fine. So now let me remove this, and here let's create our nav tag. Let's give class name. So for this class name, let me import this class from our dummy styles. So let me type here import. So we are gonna import our navbar styles from our dummy styles. So here we are gonna use these particular CSS classes for our navbar. So let me close this here. Then after this, let me type here navbar styles dot nav. Then after this, create a div tag, give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot decorative pattern. Now after this, give styles also here, and inside this style, just type a background image, and it will be navbar styles dot decorative pattern background. Now after this, let's create another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot bubble1. Now let's copy this div and paste it 2 times, change it to bubble2, and here it will be changed to bubble3. Now after this, let's see. So a background is present here. So now after this, let's create another div tag and give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot container. Then another div tag, give class name, that is navbar styles dot logo container. Then inside this, let's create our link tag. So for link, we have to import it. So let's import our link from our React router DOM package. Then let's give here to property, and the to property, it will be on slash, give class name to this link tag, it will be navbar styles dot logo button. Then let's create a div tag, give class name to this div. It will be our navbar styles dot logo inner. Then let's go on our Chrome, and inside our front end folder, inside this SR components in our navbar for our GitHub, let's just copy this link tag here and let me just paste it here. Now after this, let's go and check. Let me refresh this. Oh, okay, we have to define our logo src. So this logo src will be defined here, and now you can see our logo is present here. Now after this div, let's create another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot title container. Then another div tag, give class name, that is the navbar styles dot title background. Then after this, create a h1 tag, give class name to this heading tag, that is navbar styles dot title text. And let's give here, type here hexagon digit quiz application. Now as you can see, it is present here. So now after this, let's go back, and after this div, let's create another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot desktop buttons container. Then another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot spacer. So it will be adding the space from the right side. Then let's create our nav link, and inside this nav link, let's give here to property. It will be on slash result, that is this route. And for class name, we are gonna type a navbar styles dot result button. Then here we are gonna give an icon. So for icon, let's go again search for Lucidity React on our Chrome and click on this first link for this npm and copy this command here, and in your terminal, let me just terminate it and paste it here. Now here on the icons, let's search here for award here. Now this is the award, so let me just expand it here. Now for React, select React and copy this import statement, and here after this import, paste it here. Then again npm run dev in your terminal, and now let me just refresh it here. So now it's working fine here. Now after this, let me just give an icon here, that is the award icon, and give class name to this icon. It will be navbar styles dot button icon. And let's close this, and let me just type here my result. Now let's go and see. So now my result button and with the icon is present here. Once click, it takes us to that page. Okay, now after this, let's type here, let's define our states. So first let's type here const navigate is equals to use navigate hook. Then after this, type here const logged in, that is we have to check it here. So set is logged in is equals to a use state hook, and the initial value will be false. Then type here const menu open comma set menu open is equals to use state hook, and the initial value will be false again. Now after this, let's me just create a function for logout function here. So type here const handle logout is equals to, now create an arrow function here. Now create a try catch block, and now inside this try block, let me type here local storage dot remove item. So here we are gonna remove our auth token here. Then type here local storage dot clear. So it will clear our local storage, which will be holding our token there. Then in case of error, we are gonna ignore all the error that occurs during the logout here. Now window dot dispatch event. So here we are gonna create a new custom event, and inside this new custom event, we are gonna define the auth change that happens during the state change here, and the detail here, it will be user here becomes null once it's get logged out here. So now after this, set menu open will become false, and let's create our try block, and inside this try block let's type a navigate, and once it's get logged out, it will navigate us to login page, that is the /login. And in case of any error, we are gonna catch the error, and also happens on the event for the error. So we are gonna type a window dot location dot href is equals to /login. In case of any error, it will return again to our login page. Now after this nav link, let's type here logged in. If it is logged in, then create a button tag and give on click property. It will be handle logout will be called here, and class name to this button tag, it will be navbar styles dot logo button logout button. Then let's give here the logout icon and give class name to this icon. It will be navbar styles dot button icon, and let's close this here. Now let's type a logout here. Now after this, in else case, that is if you are not logged in, then in that case again let's create a nav link here. Let me create this as a link here, a tag nav link tag here. Then after this, inside this nav link, give two property. It will be done on /login, and give class name to this. It will be navbar styles dot login button. Then let's give here the icon login and give class name to this icon. It will be navbar styles dot button icon. Now let me just type a login. Now let's see. So our login button is present here. That helps in login page. That redirects you to login page. That is. So let's create another div tag. Give class name to this div. It will be navbar styles dot mobile menu container. Now after this, another div tag, or create a button tag here, and on click property to this button, that is create an arrow function here, and type here set menu open. Here it will be S, and create an arrow function, and that is not S. So then give class name to this. It will be navbar styles dot menu toggle button. So let's type here menu open. If it is menu open, then in that case it will show you the cross icon, that is X, and give class name to this icon. It will be navbar styles dot menu icon. And in else case, if it is not open, then it will show you the icon menu, and give class name to this icon. It will be again navbar styles dot menu icon. And let me close this here. So now let me just show you this here. Now you can see we have this toggle button present here. Now after this, let's go back here, and now after this button, let's type here menu open, and if the menu is open, then create a div tag, give class name as let me type here navbar styles dot menu mobile menu panel. Then let's create our unlist tag, that is UL, and give class name to this tag, that is navbar styles dot mobile menu list. Then let's create a li tag, that is the list tag, and inside this let's create our nav link, and inside our nav link we give two property as /result, and the class name here, it will be navbar styles dot mobile menu item. Now inside this, give on click also, that will be arrow function, that is set mobile menu will be false here. So let's give here icon award and give class name to it. It will be navbar styles dot mobile menu icon. Now let's type here my result here. Now after this, let's see. So you can see my result is present here. Now after this, let me just type here logged in. If we are logged in again, that is create a li tag, and inside this a button tag, and type of this button, it will be button here. Type of this button will be button, and on click here it will be handle logout function here called, and class name here it will be navbar styles dot mobile menu item. Let me type here the icon logout and give class name to this icon. It will be navbar styles dot mobile menu icon. And here let me just type a logout. Now, in else case, if you are not logged in, then again a li tag, that is the list tag, and nav link here. Nav link will have two property, that is the /login, and the class name here, it will be navbar styles dot mobile menu item. And here on click here, it will be again create an arrow function and type a set menu open will become false here once it's selected here. So type a login and give class name to this icon, that is navbar styles dot mobile menu icon. Let me close this here and type a login. Now after this, let me check it here. So our login is present here, so it's working fine here. Let's go back here and let me just create a style tag here, and inside this we are gonna call the navbar styles dot animations. Now after this, our navbar is completed, which is responsive for all the screens. So now after this, let's create our login page. So in components, let's create a component that is login.jsx. Now type here RAFCE, and now in your app.jsx, let's create a route here, and the path here, it will be /login. The element here, it will render the login component here. So let me close this here, and now let's create our login component here. So let me type here hello, and now it is visible here, so it's working fine. It is successfully linked. So let's type here import. So we are gonna import our login styles from our dummy styles. So here we are gonna use these CSS property for our login page, that is the login component. So here let me just give on login success here, let's define this value as null here. Now after this, give class name to this div, it will be login styles dot page container. Then another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be again login styles dot bubble1. Let's copy this div here and let me paste it again. Change this bubble1 to 2. Then after this div, let's create our link tag, and inside this link tag, first let's import our link. So import link from React router DOM package. Then inside this link, give two property, and it will be on slash, and give class name to this link, it will be login styles dot back button. And let's type here icon, that is arrow left, and give class name to this icon, it will be login styles dot back button icon. Let me type a back button icon here, and let's close this. And now after this, type a span tag, give class name to this span, it will be login styles dot back button text, and type here home. Now as you can see, our back button is present here. Once click, it takes us to our home page. Now after this link tag, let's create a div tag here, give class name to this div, it will be login styles dot form container. Then a form tag, and inside this form tag, let me give a class name. First let's type here on submit, and we are gonna type here handle submit, and give class name to this form tag, it will be login styles dot form. Then no validate will be called here. Then after this, give class name to this div, it will be login styles dot form wrapper. Then another div tag, give class name, it will be login styles dot animate border. Then another div tag, give class name, it will be login styles dot form content. Then a h2 tag, that is the heading tag, give class name to this heading, it will be login styles dot heading. And let's type here a span tag, give class name to the span, it will be again login styles dot heading icon. And let's give here the icon here, that is the login login, and give class name to this icon, it will be login styles dot heading icon contain inner, and close this here. Now let me just cut this here and let's see. So as you can see, this icon and box is present here. Now let me paste it again here. Then after this, another span tag, give class name to the span. It will be login styles dot heading context, and let's type a login. Now after this heading tag, let's create a paragraph tag, give class name to this paragraph. It will be login styles dot subtitle, and let me give a paragraph here, that is sign in to continue to hexagon quiz, light clean UI, smooth micro animations, and easy validation. Now after writing this paragraph, okay, you won't be able to see as we haven't defined this on submit here. So later we are gonna define this. So now as you can see, it is present here. Let me again type this here. Now after this, create a label tag, and inside this label tag, let's give class name to this label. It will be login styles dot label, and here a span tag, give class name to the span. It will be login styles dot label text, and let's give here the label as email. Now a div tag, give class name. It will be login styles dot input container. Then inside this, create a span tag, give class name. It will be login styles dot input icon, and here let's give the icon as mail. Give class name to this icon, that is login styles dot input icon inner, and let me just close this here. Then after the span, create an input tag and type here it will be email. Then the name here, it will be again email. Then the value, so for the value, let's go to our GitHub again, and inside this login page, let's copy these const variable that we have defined using the use state here, having these initial values here that has been defined. So import our use navigate as well as the use state also. Now we have this email password, show password error, submit loading, and submit error. Let's copy this is email validation so that we use this @ it's check that we have used the @ or not. Then let's copy this validation of the email here. Let me remove this here. Now let me add a comment here, that is this function is used to validate our email as well as the password also. So now after this, let's give here the value here. So the value here, it will be email. Let me type here email here. Then after this, type here on change and pass the event here and create an arrow function. Type here set email. It will be event dot target dot value, and now after this, type here if any errors dot email occur, then in that case set errors, and the set error will be having this s and create an arrow function and type here dot s, and email will store that as undefined. Now give class name to this input tag, that is the backtick, and type here login styles dot input, then another $, and type here errors dot email. If the errors dot email comes, that is it will show you login styles dot input error, else it will show you login styles dot input normal. Now give placeholder here, that is your @example.com, that will be shown on the input box, and it will be a required field. Then in case of errors and errors dot email and let me just type here paragraph tag and give class name to this paragraph. It will be login styles dot error text, and let me just pass here the errors dot email. Now after this, we have to copy this label here, and let me just paste it one more time for the password here. Here let's change this span here first for the password, and the icon will be changed to lock. Then type of this here, it will be changed to, it will be checking, that is show password. If it is showing the password, it will be text, else it will be password. it will show you dot dot dot. And in case name will be changed to password, let me just change it value to password. Let's copy this password here, as we have to change it multiple places for errors for this email. And here we have to define this login styles dot password input also here, so that it can handle two icon, that is it will also have the icon. And placeholder will be changed here for the enter your password, or enter your password here. Now here we will be defining our toggle button, that is the I button. So for that, let's create our button tag, and type of this button, it will be button. We are defining the type of this button as button, and on click here it will be an arrow function, and type as set show password, and it will show you the previous state will be not previous state. And class name will be login styles dot password toggle. Then inside this, type as show password. If it is showing the password, it will be I off button icon, and the icon will have this class name as login styles dot password toggle icon. And in else case, if it is not showing, it will be I, and give class name to this I as login styles dot password toggle icon. Now after this, let's change this email to password, and as well as this also. And now let's type here the submit error and let's create a paragraph tag here. Give class name to this paragraph, it will be login styles dot submit error, and let's just type here the submit error will be passed here. Now after this, create another div tag, give here class name as login styles dot button container. Then let's create a button tag here, and here the type here of this button, it will be submit, as it will be submitting the data to our server. And class name here, it will be login styles dot submit button, and it will be disabled when we are loading, that is it is getting submitted, it will be disabled here. So loading here, if it is loading, then it will show you that is sign in, and if it is not loading, then it will show you icon, that is login, and give class name to this icon login styles dot submit button icon. And also there will be a span tag, and give class name to the span, it will be login styles dot submit button text, and type here sign up here, that is sign in. So for this, we have to just cut it and open our empty parenthesis and paste it here, that is the fragment, empty fragments. And now after this, let's define our handle submit here. First let's cut it here, so you can see this is our login form here present. And now before defining it, let's create our div tag and give class name to this div, it will be login styles dot sign up container. Then let's create another div tag, give class name as login styles dot sign up content. And now create a span tag, give class name to the span, it will be login styles dot sign up text. And here type here don't have an account. So if you don't have an account, it will redirect you to, so we need our link tag, and it will redirect us to our /signup page, that is the /signup route. And the class name here, it will be login styles dot sign up link. And here just type as create account. Now after this, let's define our handle submit. So let's type here const API underscore base is equals to, so here we have to define our backend URL. So for that, let me just copy the backend URL and let's paste it here. Now after this, let's type a const, let me type a const handle submit is equals to, and it will be an async function, and take ev and create an arrow function, type a ev dot prevent default, as it will stop the page from reloading. Then type a set show password, that is set submit error, it will become empty here at the initial starting, and type a const validation is equals to, we are going to use the validate function that we have defined below. Then after this, type here set errors, and the error here, it will be validation. So if in case any error occurs, it will be validation error. Then if object dot keys, and inside this keys we are gonna paste the validation dot length, then it will return this. If the validation error occurs, it will return that error. Then set loading will become true at the starting. Then after this, create a try catch block, and now inside this try block, let's type here const payload is equals to, and type here email, and email will store the email dot trim method, then dot to lowercase, then password here will be pass here. Then type here const response is equals to await keyword fetch, and here we are gonna fetch using this backtick the API base slash API slash auth slash login. So then the method of it will be our post method. So the method here, it will be post method, that is the creation method. Then the headers here, it will be our content type here, it will be application slash JSON. Now after this, put a comma here, and now in the body we are gonna share this JSON.stringify method, and the stringify the payload here. Now after this, now our slash API slash login is coming from this server.js slash API slash login. Auth and slash login is from this. So we are getting this, we have already tested it in our backend. So now it is a post method, so it is the post method. Now after this, let me type here let data is equals to null. At initial, data will be null. Then create a try block, and inside this, data is equals to await keyword and response dot JSON, and data will be storing the response coming from the response.json. Then in case of any error, it will catch the error, and it will ignore all the error that is present here during the fetching of the data. Then type here if response dot OK is not happening, then in that case const message is equals to data dot message, or it will show you that is login failed, that is the login won't be happening in case of the response is not okay. Then it will set submitted error, it will be message, that is it will show you this response login failed here, and it will return the error. Then if the data dot token is founded, then create a try block and type a local storage dot set item, and it will set the auth token in the local storage as the data dot token will be passed there, and local storage dot set item, and again it will set the our current user. So our current user will be stored there, and it will pass the data as JSON dot stringify, and we are gonna again stringify here the data dot user, or we are gonna stringify our email like payload dot email. Now after this, in case of any error, that is the catch block, we are gonna just ignore all the errors that occur here. Now after this, let's type a const user is equals to data dot user, or it will be email, and email will have this payload dot email. Now after this, type a window dot dispatch event, and here we are gonna create a new custom event here, and inside this custom event we are gonna type here auth changed, and the detail here, the user will be saved here. Now after this, type here if type of on login success is equals to, that is the function, and in that case on login success here it will be user, so it will store the user here, and it will navigate us to our home page. Once the login is successful, it will redirect us to our home page, and replace here it will be true. Now, in case of any error, make it ERR. Then in case of any error, we are gonna just type here console.error, and inside this it will be login error, and the error, that is ERR, will be placed here. Then after this, type here set submitted error will be network error. Then there will be a finally block to set our loading as false here. Once it's done, it will set the loading as false. Now we have defined our handle submit here, so let's check it here. So let me just type here, let me log in it using the previous ID we have logged in, hexa@gmail.com, and okay, I'm writing it here, but it is not getting right on the password, so there must be a issue. Let me just check it again. Yeah, okay, so there is a issue, so let me fix it here. So okay, the issue is we have set the email here, whereas it has to be set password here. And now let's me refresh this page, and now let me just check it here, change it to hexa@gmail.com, and let me give a password here. Now click on sign in. So we are signed in here, but the nav bar hasn't changed here. Also in application, you can see we have these two details present here, that is the auth token and the current user is present here. That has the details here. So for that, let me first make it a capital E. Then we have completed our login. So let's go and fix this here. So first let's give a style here, that is the login styles dot animate borders, that is the animations. Then after this, let's go to our navbar.jsx to fix that issue, that is we are logged in and it's not changing the state. So for that, let me use our use effect hook to make the auth state change here, that is the auth change will happen here. So for that, let's go to our GitHub, and in our nav bar, let's just copy this use effect hook and let me just paste it here. That is, each time we make a user login, it will change the state here. So let me log in it here using the same route, same ID. Okay, I have given the wrong password. Let me fix it. Now sign in. So it turns to log out here. Once I log out here, let me log in again and show it on the console also. Now you can see there is nothing on the local storage. Let me just sign in. Once I sign in, there is things present. Once I log out, the data gets removed here, so it's working fine. So let's create our sign up page here. So for sign up page, let me just go to components and create our sign up component.jsx. So type here REFCE, and here let me just type here sign, and in our app.jsx, let's define our route tag, and inside this route tag, path will be /signup, and element what we are gonna render is this sign up element. So let me close this here, route tag, and now sign is present here. So let's create our sign up here. Let me remove this, and now let's import our sign up styles from our dummy styles. So here we are gonna use this particular CSS property for our sign up component. So let me close this, and now inside this, let's go to our GitHub, and here in our sign up page, let me just open this and copy this statement and paste it here, as it will be our validation statement that will verify that it is an email or not, that we have used the @ or not. Then after this, in sign up, let me just paste it here, and let's import our use navigate hook as well as the use state hooks, and here we are defining these things here. Now after this, let's copy this on success, sign up success, and paste it here. Now after this, let's copy this validate, that it will validate all the things, that is it will validate whether the name field is filled or not. It will validate that is the email field is filled or not, or the password field is filled or not. Also it will verify the length, that is the password length must be greater than 6. So now after adding this comment, let me just add a comment here too also, that is whether email has @ or not. Here it will check this. Now after this here inside this div, let's give class name to this div tag as signup styles dot page container. Then after this, let's copy this link tag from here and paste it here. So let's import our link from our React router DOM, and the slash will be /login. It will be changed to our back button. So now, okay, there is an issue that says login style is no, okay, we have to change this. Let's copy the signup styles and paste it here. Also paste it here and paste it here. Now let me refresh this here. Again there is an arrow left is not defined. Okay, we have to define this icon here. Now let's check. So our back button with the background is present here. Once click, it takes back to our login page. So now after this, let's create our div tag and give class name to this div. It will be signup styles dot form container. Then after this, create a form tag, and now inside this form tag, let's type here on submit property, and it will be handle submit. Now let's give class name to this div. It will be signup styles dot animation border. Then another div tag, give class name. It will be signup styles dot form content. Then a h2 tag, that is the heading tag. Give class name to this heading. It will be signup styles dot heading. Now let's create a span tag. Give class name to the span. It will be signup styles dot heading icon. Now let's give here the icon as check circle. Give class name to this icon, that is the signup styles dot heading icon inner. And let's after the span, let me create another span tag. Give class name to the span. It will be signup styles dot heading text, and let me just type here create account here. Now after this, okay, we have not defined the handle submit, so let's define our handle submit here first. So let's go to our login, and here let me just copy this API base here and paste it here. Then after this, let's copy this, wait, don't copy this, let's create our fresh here. So let's type a const handle submit is equals to, and create an async function, take ev and create an arrow function. Type here ev.prevent default, as it will stop the page from reloading. Then type here set submit error, and it will become empty. Here it will be initialized empty. Then const v is equals to validate, and after this set sub errors, here it will be v, and then the errors will be passed here. But if object.keys v.length, then the error will be passed here. Then if the error happens, then it will be passed here. Then type here set loading will become true at the starting. Then create a try catch block, and inside this try block, let's type a const payload is equals to, now let me just type a name. We are gonna take the name as name.trim method. Then email email will be taken as the email dot trim method and dot to lowercase. Then after this we take the password here. Now after this let me type here password, and then after this let's go to our login and let me just copy this response here and let me paste it here. Now again it will be done for this register route, not for the login here. And let me show you this, that is, this takes this slash API slash auth from here and slash register, as it will be a post method, so we are using this route here. Now after this let's go again and let me just copy this. If the data is not found, then it will show you this, and the data message here it will get changed to register field, just as the registration field. Now after this let's go to our login and let's copy this if data.token and paste it here. So if the dot token is present here, it will just get this details here, and there the email will be changed to, it will store the name here dot trim method. Also it will store the email that it was previously storing there, that is the email dot trim method dot to lowercase. Then after this inside this login let me just first let me just type here if type of on sign up success is equals to function, then let me type here try block, and inside this on sign up success here it will be data dot user, or it will be, let me type here, let me copy and paste these two lines here. Now let's create our catch block and pass the error, that is error, and here just we are ignoring the error again here. Then after this we are gonna type in navigate, and it will navigate on slash login after this successful sign up, and it will be replaced here, it will be true. Now in case of any error, let me type here console dot error, and the error here it will be sign up error, and the error err will be passed here. Then after this type here set submit error, it will be network error. Now after this let me type here in finally block, and finally there will be set loading here, it will become false here. Now as you can see our created account is present here with the box here. Now after this h2 tag, that is the heading tag, create a paragraph tag and give class name to this paragraph, it will be signup styles dot subtitle, and let's give the paragraph that is similar to our login. So let me just copy and paste the paragraph here. Now after this let's create our label tag, and inside this label tag let's give class name to this label, it will be signup styles dot label, and inside this create a span tag, give class name, it will be signup styles dot label text, and let's give the label as full name. Now after this a div tag, give class name as signup styles dot input container. Then inside this a span tag, give class name to the span, it will be signup styles dot input icon, and let me just pass here the icon here user and give class name to this icon, that is signup styles dot input icon inner. And after the span let's create our input tag, and inside this the type here it will be text, name here it will be name, the value here it will be name, then on change here it will be event, and create an arrow function and type here set name, and set name here it will be event dot target dot value. Then after this set errors here it will be setting the error as s, and it will be done on dot 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 slash s, and the name here it will be storing that undefined. Now after this let me just give a semicolon here. Now after this on change type here if errors happens, that is if error dot name, then in that case we have to paste it here. Now let's give class name to this input tag. It will be backtick. Type here signup styles dot input, and then let's type here errors dot name, and inside this name it will be signup styles dot input error. If the error occurs, it will be input error. If not, it will be input normal. Now after this, let's type here placeholder, and the placeholder it will be John Doe. Then after this, it will be a required field. Now in case of any errors dot name, and let me just type here paragraph tag, give class name to this paragraph. It will be signup styles dot error text, and let's pass here the errors dot name here. Now after this, you can see it is present here, and now it is taking this. Okay, now after this, let's create our let's copy this label tag here, and let me paste it again. Now here just change this full name to email, and here the icon will be changed to mail. Then the type here it will be changed to email. The name here it will be changed to email. Then after this, the value will be changed to email, and set name will be changed to set email. Errors will be changed to email, then again email. Here errors dot email. Then placeholder will be changed to your @example.com, and it will be our required field also. Then errors dot email and errors dot email. Now after this label, let's paste it again, and this time just change this full name to password. Now after this password, let's change this icon to lock, and after this, let's the type here it will be typing here the show password. If it is showing, then it will be text, else it will be password. Then the name here it will change to password. Let's copy this password, and for the value it will be changed to, let me change it to password here. Then set name will be changed to set password. Then errors dot password. Then here the password will be undefined. Then after this, errors dot again this will be password. Then type here signup styles dot password input. Then let's change this placeholder to our create a password, and that will be minimum of 6 letters. Then the errors name will be changed to password, also error dot password. Now after this, let's just copy this toggling function of this login and paste it here. Here let me just change this first. Let's change the CSS here, signup styles, not the login styles. And now after this, the icon, let's import these both the icon here. Now after this, let's see. So our icon is present here. Once I am typing this, and we can toggle it here, so it's working fine. Now after this, we need our button for the submission. So but before that, we need this submit error that can happen here. So let me just change it to signup styles dot submit error. Now once we have changed this here, the role here it will be alert, as it will be present as an alert here. Now after this, let's create a div tag here for the button, and give class name it will be signup styles dot buttons container. Then a button tag here, and type of this button it will be submit button. Then disabled is equals to loading, and give class name to this button it will be signup styles dot submit button. Then let's type a loading. If it is loading, then it will show you that it is creating account, or if it is not loading, that is in else case, it will show you create account here. Now after this form, let's create a div tag here, give class name to this div, that is signup styles dot login prompt container. Then another div tag, give class name as signup styles dot login prompt content. Then another div tag, give, or just change it to span tag, give class name to the span. It will be again our signup styles dot login text, and let's type here already have an account. So if you already have an account, it will redirect us to our /login page. That is the login page here. So inside this link tag, we are gonna give two property as login and give class name to this login tag, that is the signup styles dot login prompt link. And let me just type here login. Now, once we have completed our sign up, now let's go and let's check it here. Now let me just create a new account here using this ID. Let me give a password here and create an account here. So our account is created successfully, and on our MongoDB, let me refresh it here. And once I refresh it here, you can see our new user has been registered here. So it's working fine here. Now after this, let me log in using the same ID and sign in here. So once I am signed in, it shows I am signed in with the different ID. Now after this, let's create our sidebar. So let me create a sidebar component, that is .jsx, and type here refce. Now type here side. Now in our home.jsx, let's import our sidebar here. And now after this, let's go and see our side is present here. So now let's create our sidebar component here. Now type here import sidebar styles from our dummy styles. So here we are gonna use these particular CSS properties for our sidebar. Now after this, let's import here the questions data that is coming from our dummy data.js, that is coming from asset /dummy data. So here we have got multiple questions data for on multiple niche here. So these both the files will be giving in the description box, you can check there. So let's give class name to this div as sidebar styles dot page container. Then after this, inside this, let's go on GitHub, and inside the sidebar.jsx, let me just copy these hooks and let me just paste it here. Then now here we are taking this, let me just import this use state. Here we are taking this selected text, selected level questions that have multiple questions here, and user answer, that is the answer given to the by the user, shows result, that is the end of the page, it will show the result. Here is the submitted reference, and is sidebar open means that is the sidebar given on the left side will be open or not according to that. And this use effect hook is for the resizing, that is if the inner width is greater than or equals to 768, then the sidebar will be seen, else it will be like a toggle button, so that it can be open and closed there if the screen is lower than 768 pixel. Now after this, let me copy this const API base from our sign up, and let me just paste it here above this. Now after this use effect hook, let's go back to our GitHub again, and let's copy another use effect hook here, and let me paste it here. So again, this will be similar to the previous use effect hook, that is if the sidebar is open and the inner width is less than 768, it will be hidden, like it will be not shown on the screen, but it will have a toggle button so that you can toggle between the pages. Now after this, let's go and import our text, that is technology we are showing here. So let me just copy and paste it here. Now here we have total 10 technologies, that is the HTML. So let's import for each the icons. Let's import here. We have this CSS, we have this JavaScript, we have this React, we have this code here, we have this database here, and we have this Java, we have this Python, we have this C++, and we have this Bootstrap. Now, we have multiple levels for each of them. That is the basic, which will have 20 questions, intermediate 40 questions, and advanced 60 questions. Now, after this, let me just copy this function, that is the handle text select, and let me copy and paste it here. So basically this functions here at the starting, when you select any text, it will show the initial, that is it will start from the 0 questions, and the answers and the result will be not be saved previously. So it will be initial value is defined here, that is the selected text and selected level will be null at the starting. Then once you select it, the current question will start from 0. The user answer will not be saved here. Also the set show result will be not visible there. Now after this, let's type a const handle level select, and inside this we are gonna pass the level ID and create an arrow function. And now type a set selected level, and inside this the level ID will be passed here. Then set current question will be start from 0 once you have selected the level. Then the user answer will be empty array, that it will not be saved at the starting. Then set show result will become false here. Now after this, let's type a submitted ref dot current is equals to false. So at initial, the submission will not be done until the whole quiz is completed. Then if windows dot inner width is less than 768 pixel, then set sidebar open will become false. If it is lower, then it will become false here. So if we select our level, it will start by this. So these are the initial values here. Then let's type a const handle answer select is equals to, we have to pass here the answer index and create an arrow function, and type a const new answers is equals to, now inside this type here user answer will be passed here, as well as the current question will store the answer index. Now after this, type a set user answer will become here the new answer. So the new answer will be stored inside this user answer. Then our timeout function, if current questions is less than the get questions function dot length method -1. So if the current question is less than get questions dot length -1, set current question will be the previous question, and the previous question will increase by 1. Now in else case, what will happen, set show result here, it will become true, that is you have completed your quiz here, and it will show you the result here in half second, that is the 500 value. Now let's create our get questions function. So type a const get questions is equals to, now create an arrow function here, and type a if selected tag is not present or the selected level is not defined, in that case it will return empty array. Now it will return the question data, and inside this the selected tag will be used here, that is according to the selected tag it will show you the questions, also the selected level, else it will show you empty array. Now let's calculate our total score here. So let's go back to our GitHub and let's copy this calculate score function, and let me paste it here. So this is how our calculation will be done here, and the result will be coming in the percentage here. So now after this, let's reset the questions, that is the quiz. So let me just type a const reset quiz is equals to, and create an arrow function here. Then type a set current question
At the initial, the question must be start from the 0 index, and set user answer will become empty array. Then empty, and then show result will become false. Then submitted ref dot current is equals to becomes false here. So this is how our reset will work here. Then we need these three questions, three const, and the value will be this. The questions will be stored in questions, current IQ will be stored in this, and store will calculate the total score. Now let's copy and paste this get performance status. So according to this performance status, you will get the final result. So you have this outstanding, excellent, good job, and keep practicing. Now we have imported the icon for each. Now after this, let's go back and let me just copy these two lines here. So here basically the performance will store the get performance status here function, and the toggle sidebar will help in toggling the sidebar if the screen is less than 768 pixel. Now after this, let's type here const auth get auth header. So this function will help you get the user for the verification. So create an arrow function and type a const token is equals to local storage dot get item, and here we are gonna get the token, and or we are gonna get here the local storage dot get item, and the name of this here it will be auth token. Then after this, or it will be null here, that is it is not found here. Then return token. If the token is founded, then the authorization here it will be backtick bearer, give a space and type here dollar token will be passed here, or in else case it will be empty. So this is how we are gonna verify our user. So let's type here const submit result is equals to an async function, and create an arrow function here, and let's type here if submit result, if the submit reference dot current is equals, then it will be written here. Then if not selected tag or not selected level, then in that case it will again return the error, and type here const payload is equals to, now let me go back and let's copy this payload. This is how we are gonna send our data to our server side. Let me paste it here. So here we are gonna take the title, we need this technology levels, total questions, correct answers, and the wrong will be calculated here. Now after this, let me search on a different tab for React Toastify and click on this first link, copy this command here, and now in your terminal let me just terminate it and paste it here. Now let me run it again, npm run dev, and let's install a npm axios for the connection to the backend, and let me just close it here. Now let's refresh it here, and now after this let's create a try catch block in this, and now inside this try block let's type here submit ref dot current is equals to, this will become true here. Then the toast here it will be for toast, let's import our toast first. So type here import toast from our React Toastify package. Then after this type here toast, then toast.info. So it will show you the info that is saving your result. Then after this type here const response is equals to await keyword axios, and first let's import our axios. So type here import axios from axios package. Now after this type here axios dot post method, as it will be our creation method and it will be done on our route. Let me just correct it. We need this backtick, not this. So add a backtick here and type here slash API slash results and then so for this we are getting it from the server side, that is the /API/result, and for this result router for the post method we are doing it on /route, so we don't need to add the slash here. Now after this we are gonna share the payload here, and inside this we are gonna also share the headers, and in headers the content type here it will be application/JSON. Now after this the get auth header will be passed here in the headers. Then let's type here timeout, and timeout here it will be 10,000, that is the 10 seconds. Now after this type here if response.data, if the response.data and response.data.success, if that happens, then in that case toast.success will be results saved. So our result will be saved if everything went successfully. In else case, if it is not went successful, then the toast.won, and inside this it will show that a result not saved here, and it will give you a warning here. Then the submit reference.current is equals to, it will become false here. So now let's just copy this catch block here and let me just paste it here. So in catch block we are showing this toast.error here. Now after this let me just copy and paste this use effect hook, and this will just update each time we save our result here. So now this is all working fine here. So now let's create our UI for the sidebar first. Now inside this let's type here is sidebar open, and then if it is open then create a div tag and type here on click property, and it will be creating an arrow function, and type here window.inner width will be less than 768 pixel, and the set sidebar is open will become false here. Then after this give class name to this div, it will be sidebar styles dot mobile overlay. Then let me just, this div will be closed here. Now after this create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be sidebar styles dot main container. Then a side tag, and inside this the reference here it will be aside reference. Then give class name to this aside, it will be backtick, and type here the sidebar styles dot sidebar. Then again the is sidebar open, if it is open then the text will be text from x, translate from x-axis will be 0, and else it will be translate from minus x-axis will be full. Then create another div tag, give class name, and it will be sidebar styles dot sidebar header. Then inside this another div tag and give class name to this div, and it will be sidebar styles dot header decoration 1. Let's copy this div and paste it again, then change the decoration to 2. Now after this div let's create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be sidebar styles dot header content. Then another div tag, give class name, it will be sidebar styles dot logo container. Then after this let's type div, give class name sidebar styles dot logo icon, and inside this let's type here the book open icon, and size of this icon will be 28. Give class name to this, it will be text indigo 700. Let me close this icon here and let's check. So the icon is present on the left side here. Now after this div let's create another div tag and h1 tag, and give class name to this heading tag as sidebar styles dot logo title, and let me give a title as tech quiz master. Now after this heading, create a paragraph tag, give class name. It will be sidebar styles dot logo subtitle, and let me just type here the paragraph, that is test your knowledge and improve skills. So our paragraph is also present here with the title. Now after this div, create a button tag, and inside this button tag give on click property, and it will be toggle sidebar, and give class name to this button. It will be sidebar styles dot, let me give here the close button, and let's give the icon X and give the size of the icon here, it will be 20. Let me close this here. Now let me just toggle it first, but it will not be shown here, as it will just get after 768, it will get hidden because there is no need for this icon here also, but later it will be working here. Then let's create a div tag, give class name, it will be sidebar styles dot sidebar content. Then another div tag, give class name, it will be sidebar styles dot technologies header. Then a heading tag, that is the h2 tag, give class name to this, it will be sidebar styles dot technology title, and let's give here the technologies. And a span tag, give class name to this span tag, it will be sidebar styles dot technology count, and pass here the technologies dot length and the options here. So it will show you 10 options, that it will have 10 technologies here. Now after this div, create a technologies dot map function, and we are gonna map the tech and create an arrow function here. And inside this, create a div tag, give key value as tech.id. Then the class name here, it will be sidebar styles dot tech item. Then the data tech here, it will be equals to tech.id. Now after this, a button tag here, and inside this button tag, let's click on click property and create an arrow function, and type here the handle tech select. Here we are gonna select the tech using this tech ID, and give class name to this button, it will be sidebar styles dot tech button. And again it will check that is the selected tech is equals to, if the tech selected tech is equals to tech.id, then in that case it will be tech.color, and it will be sidebar styles dot tech button selected. In else case, it will be sidebar styles dot tech button normal. Now after this, inside this button, give div and give class name to this div, it will be sidebar styles dot tech button content. Then a span tag, give class name to this span, it will be sidebar styles dot tech icon. And here let me just type here tech dot color, and let's wrap it inside a back tick, and let me just give a back tick here. Now a dollar also, okay, now it's working fine. Then after this, inside the span, just give the tech dot icon will be passed here. So now on your browser you can see you have this multiple icon present here on the UI. Now after this, let's create another span tag, give class name to the span, it will be sidebar styles dot tech name, and let's pass here the tech name, that is the tech dot name will be passed here. Now you can see there is the name present for each of them. Now after this, let's go, and after this div, create a selected tech, and selected tech is equals to tech.id. If it is, then in that case, let me just give a icon chevron down, and size of this icon will be 18, and give class name to this icon, that is text current. And in else case, if it is chevron right and the size here it will be 18 and text gray 400 will be class name here. Now after this, select tech is equals to tech.id, and in that case create a div tag and give class name to this div. It will be, let me type here, sidebar styles dot level container. Then inside this create a h3 tag, give class name to this heading tag. It will be sidebar styles dot levels title, and a span tag give just type here select different difficulty. So and another span tag, give class name to this span, and it will be sidebar styles dot tech batch. Then let's pass here the technologies dot find, and here we are going to find using this tech, and it will be tech dot id is equals to selected tech dot name. So then after this type a levels dot map function, and inside this we are going to map the level and create an arrow function, and inside this a button tag, and in button tag here it will be the key, here it will be level dot id. Then on click property, here it will be creating an arrow function, and type here handle level select, it will be level dot id. Then give class name to this, it will be backtick, and type here sidebar styles dot level button. Then another selected level will be check here is equals to level dot id, that what your level you have selected here, and according to that it will show you this colors, that is the level dot color, or else it will also it will show you sidebar styles dot level button selected. Then in else case, let me type here the sidebar styles dot level button normal. Now let me just pass here the div tag and type here class name, and it will be sidebar styles dot level button content. Then a span tag, give class name to the span, it will be sidebar, let me type here backtick, and sidebar dot level icon, and also here it will be selected level is equals to level dot id. If it is selected, then it will be text white, opacity will be 40, and here it will be bg white, opacity will be 40, else it will be bg gray 100. Now let me just pass here the level dot icon. Then after this another span tag, and inside this we are gonna pass the level dot name here. So let's check here. So here we have this level, you can select here, and according to that you will be able to see the questions here. So you have this level for everything. So let's go back, and now after this div create a span tag here, give class name, and it will be sidebar styles dot level questions. Then it will show you the number of questions that particular have. So it will be levels dot question will be passed here, and it will be questions. So here it shows that in basic you have 20 questions, intermediate 40, and 60 for advanced. Now let's go back, and now after this div create another div tag, give class name to this div for the footer, that is the sidebar styles dot sidebar footer, and then another div tag, give class name as sidebar styles dot footer content. Then another div tag, give class name, that is the sidebar styles dot footer content center. Then a paragraph tag, and inside this just type here master your skill one quiz at a time. Then another paragraph tag, give class name, it will be sidebar styles dot footer highlight, and here let me just type here keep learning and keep growing. Now after this let's go and see it is present here on the UI, and now after this on the GitHub let's copy this, and let me just copy this main tag, and let me just paste it after this aside tag, and now here you will be able to see the questions present here. This is the UI for the question part, and let me just go back, and it shows some error. So let's see, it shows menu is not defined. Okay, so copy this menu from here, and here let me just paste it after this. Now it's working fine. So this is our main page. So let me just if I select, it will show you this small box for each, and if I select the questions, it will show you this is the question selected. Again an error, it shows check circle is not defined. Okay, we have to define the check circle here. So let me just type here check circle, and now let's go back and see. So now I think it must work proper. So let me just select this, and X circle is not defined. Okay, so we need to just copy this X circle here, and after this let me just paste it. Let me copy it, and now let me just paste it here. Now let's go back, and now let me just fill this. Now once I fill the whole quiz, you will be able to see the result here, which says that is I have done 5 correct and 15 incorrects, and my overall score will be 25%. Now, so this is our UI. Then after this div, let's add here the style tag, and inside the style, let's type a sidebar dot custom styles will be added here. Now let me give another quiz for this CSS also, and now you see we have 10 corrects and 10 incorrects, and overall score is 50%. So now this is working fine. Now let's create our my result page. So for that, let's create a component that is my result.jsx, and here type here REFCE, and now let me just type here MR, and inside this pages let's create another page that is my result page.jsx. Now type here REFCE, and here we have to import our navbar, and also we have to import our my result page, my result here. Now after this, inside this app.jsx, let's make it a private route, that is the protected route, so that after the login you can only access your my result page. For the user to be founded, so type a function require auth is, and inside this just pass here the children, and now type here const logged in, so type here is logged in. So const is logged in is equals to a boolean, as it will return the value in true or false. So it will search from the local storage, get item or token. If it is founded, then it's true, else it will be false. Then type here const location is equals to use location hook. Then after this type here if is logged in is not founded, that is if it is false, then in that case it will navigate us to, so the to property will have this /login. So if it is not logged in, it will navigate us to login page, and the state here it will be from the location, from anywhere, and the replace here will be done here. Now in else case it will just return children. So we have protected this. So let me log out here and check it. We are able, okay, we haven't done that. So in application it is empty, but we haven't mapped this. So let me map this here. So let me just type here route tag and the path here it will be result, and the element here we are gonna render the element as my result page. Now for this my result page to be requiring the auth, we have to map it inside this require auth, we have to paste it here. Now let's go back and let me just refresh this and click on this. So it says you must be logged in here. Once I get logged in, let me log in here. Once I get logged in, we can access this result page. So this is working fine here. So let's create our my result page here. Now let's type here import. So we are gonna import our result style from our dummy styles. So for this component, we are using these CSS property for this particular component. So after this, let's go on our GitHub, and for this my result page, let's copy this batch here, batch function, and let me just paste it here. So this is how our batch will look like according to the percentage. Then let's copy this API base here, and let me just paste it here. Just change it to localhost 4000 as we are using this 4000 server. Then after this, let's copy this use states hook and the get auth header hook. So for that, import this use state hook from here. And now, so we are gonna show this badge according to the result we are gonna get, that is the excellent, it can be good, it can be average, and neat works, as we have seen previously in our backend. And we need this result, we need this loading state for errors also, we need this selected technologies for filter, so this will help in filtering the data, and technologies will also help in filtering the data. As to show this, we have multiple technologies. Const header will help in getting the user verification, that is the particular user can see his or her result here. So now after this, let me just go back and let's copy this use effect hook, and let me paste it here. So here, now you can see we have this use effect hook that helps in fetching the selected technology, that what technology has been selected during the submission, and it will be done on /API/result, that is this route. And now it will give you result for that particular tech, and it will be a get method, that is fetch method, and the auth header will be passed here, and the timeout will be 10 seconds, that is 10,000. Now after this, we have this another use effect hook that fetches the result that has been built by the sidebar component. And now it will be again be same as the similar the previous use effect hook. Then after this, let's go back and let me just copy this make key, and let me just paste it here. So we are gonna make a key here using this title here, or the ID. Then after this, let me just copy these two function, that is the const summary, as it will give you the summary of the total score, as it will get you the total score here. And it will be stored as percentage, and this grouped here will help you track your result here. Now after this, let's copy this handle select tech and paste it after this. So it will help you in filtering the tech using this filter button. Now after this, let's create our UI. So type here, give class name to this, it will be result styles dot page container. Then after this, another div tag, give class name, it will be result styles dot container. Then after this, header, and inside this header, let's give here class name, it will be result styles dot header. Then after this, let's give here div, give h1 tag, that is the heading tag, give class name as result styles dot title, and let's type here quiz result. Now after this, create another div tag, and let me just close this div tag right here, and let's give here class name as result styles dot header controls. So let's go back and see. So there is an issue, it says use callback is not defined, so we have to define this. So first let's also import our use memo, we haven't defined that also. Then scrolling up will give you this use callback hook here. So let me just import this use callback here. Now let's go and let's see here. So it says use effect is also not defined. Okay, we have to define this use effect hook. Now let's see. So our quiz result is present here. Now after this, let's me just type here import, and here we are gonna import our Axios from Axios package. Also we are gonna import our toast from our React Toastify. Now let me just check. So there is no issue present here. Also there is 2 error that has been shown here. That means we have 2 result present here. So now after this header give div give class name, it will be result styles dot filter button filter container. Then another div tag give class name as result styles dot filter content. Then after this, another div tag give class name as result styles dot filter button. Then inside this buttons, make it buttons, and now inside this create a span tag, give class name, and the class name here it will be result styles dot filter label, and let's type here the filter by tick. Now after this, you can see it is present here, filter by tick. And now after this, let's create another button tag and on click property, and it will be an arrow function here, and type here, let me just type here handle select tick, and inside this we are gonna type here all. As initial, it will show you all the result here, and class name to it, it will be result styles dot filter button, and inside this we are gonna check that is the selected technology is equals to all. If it is all, then in that case it will be result styles dot filter button active, and in else case if it is not selected, then it will be result styles dot filter button inactive. Now inside this just type here all. So our all button is present here. Now we have to make this technologies to create automatic filter. So for that, let me just copy this and paste it here. It will create the filter automatic there. So you can see we have the CSS and HTML filter here. So now let's go back, and here let me just copy this technologies. We don't that really not exist, but can be derived from the from the submission. Once you have done the submitted, it will just recreate our new filter here. New filter option will be created here. Now after this div, let's create our another div tag, give class name, it will be result styles dot filter status, and let me just pass here the selected technology is equals to all. If it is all, then in that case it will be showing all technologies, and in else case it will be backtick, and it will be filtering, and we are gonna filter our selected technology here. So now you can see, once I see it is filtering CSS, if it is filtering HTML, and if I click on all, it is showing all technologies. So this is also working fine. Now after this div, let's create our, if it is in loading state, in that case create a div tag and another div tag, and inside this the previous div we are gonna give class name as result styles dot level loading container, then another div. In this div, give class name as result styles dot loading spinner. Then another div tag, give class name as result styles dot, and inside this we are gonna give here the level loading text, and here we are gonna type a loading results. Now after this, let me just add here else case. If it is not loading, then in that case let me first remove this div and close this div right here. Then open empty fragments, and inside this empty fragments we are gonna pass here the object dot entries, and for each entries, that is the grouped entries, we are gonna map the track and items and create an arrow function here. Now type here section tag, and inside this section tag we are gonna pass the key as track. Class name here for this section tag, it will be result styles dot track section, and inside this we are gonna give the heading tag and give class name to this h2 tag. It will be result styles dot track title, and let me just type here track here, and it will be track here, it will be also pass here. So this is our HTML track CSS track, and once I click on HTML, it will be HTML track. Now after this, let's create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be result styles dot result grid. Then pass here the items dot map, and we are gonna map the result, that is R, and create an arrow function and type here strip card, and key here it will be, let me type here make key, and the make key will be done using this R, that is result, and the item will store our R, and let me just close this here. Now after this, let me just type here array dot is array, and we are gonna convert our results into array, and we are gonna type here result dot length is equals to 0, and error is not present, and create a div tag, if class name to this div, it will be result styles dot empty state. Then type here no result yet, take a quiz to see your result. That is, if you don't have any result here, it will show you this here. Now after this, let's create our strip card. So for that, let me just go and copy this from the GitHub, and let me paste it here. Now after this, let me just type here return, and inside this return, let's type here article tag, and inside this article, let me just give here class name, and the class name here, it will be return result styles dot card. Then another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be result styles dot card isn't. Then after this div, create another div tag, give class name as result styles dot card content. Then another div tag, give class name, it will be result styles dot card header. Then another div tag, give class name, it will be result styles dot card info. Now another div tag, and give class name to this div, it will be result styles dot level avatar. So let me just cut this from here, and let me just make it inside this backtick, and let me paste it here. Now after this, we also need here to check, that is the level dot style will be passed here, and we are gonna pass the level dot later. So once I pass it, so you can see this is the basic level. So the basic level will be passed here, and on our MongoDB, you will be able to see on result, you will be able to see we have this 2 result for the basic quest, and you can see this is present here, and the user here, it shows that it is for the particular user that has created this result here. and it has this wrong, right, score and multiple things present here. That now after this div, create another div tag and give class name to this div. It will be result styles dot card text. Then h3 tag, that is the heading tag, give class name to this heading tag. It will be result styles dot card title, and we are gonna pass the item dot title here. Now after this another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be result styles dot card meta. Then inside this type here item dot total questions, and it will show you total questions here. Then it will also show you that is the item dot time spent, and if the time spent is present, so let's copy this timestamp time spent and let me paste it here. Now you can see it has 20 questions present here. Now after this div, create another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be result styles dot cart performance. Another div tag, give class name. It will be result styles dot performance label, and let me pass here the label as performance. Then another div tag, give class name. It will be result styles dot batch container. Then inside this we are gonna give the icon as batch and give, let me just type here percent, will store the percent value here. Now let's see, so it has this percent, that is it shows the performance present here. Now after this create another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be result styles dot card stats, and another div tag, give class name, that is result styles dot stat item. Then inside this just type here correct, and the correct here, let me type here, let the correct here, it will store a space, and after this space it will show you a span tag that will have this result dot stat number, and here we are gonna pass the item dot correct value, so it will show you the correct here. Now let me just remove this div and close it after this. So now let's copy this div tag and paste it 2 times. Now this will be changed to wrong here, and this will be changed to item, let me type here item dot wrong, and here it will be changed to score, that is the percentage score, and let me just remove whole thing here, and it will be just percentage, that is the percent. So here it will show you this correct, and score will be present here. Now we have completed our my result also. Here just give a space for this, and now we have completed our my result, and by this we have completed our whole project. So let me just drop this collection here, and we are gonna start by the starting. So here let me just remove this, and you will see no result found yet. So for HTML, let me give here the test here. Now once I give the test here, you will be able to see that I have done 9 corrects and 11 incorrects, and my overall score is 45%. On my result page you can see my performance is average. Now after this let me go back, and for this React I'm gonna give another quiz. So let me give this quiz. Now once I get it here, it shows that I have done 10 corrects and 10 incorrects here, and we have this data for React also present here. Let's search for localhost, and let me create a new account here for the test, and let me give a password here. Now let me log in using the same credentials, and once I get logged in, you can see there is show no result yet, and let me give a test for this CSS. Let me complete this test for the basic level, and now once it gets completed, it show you that my overall score is 45%. And now you can see this is different from this user. So, and on our MongoDB, let me show you, we have this result, and result has 3 documents, and 3 means that we have this CSS that is created newly, and the user makes it authenticated for only a particular user can see his or her quiz here. So this is all. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.